staying a while, but I may stay a while. How's everyone today? Got a beautiful day. It seems so good to see the sunshine. It's been a dreary couple of weeks here in eastern North Carolina, but it's good to be with everyone. I know most of everyone in here. I'll give you a little background about our farm and how it evolved into fruits and vegetables. Fourth generation farmer in the Moss Hill Strabane area of southwest of Lenore County. My great grandfather, he farmed, and my granddaddy farmed, and daddy farmed. But we were a little bit atypical. My dad, he was in the military, went to college at Atlantic Christian, and then went on to Duke University on a GI Bill. So he's a very, very smart man, master's in chemistry from Duke, and mathematics, and then always wanted to farm. So he came back home in the mid '60s, and I think he was the first chemistry teacher at Lenore Community College. So, and then him and my uncle started having beef cattle on the side, and then my other uncle was his brother-in-law was a partner involved in the farming, and then they formed S&R Cattle Company, which that was started probably in the early, about 1969 or 70. And this involved in raising beef cattle, and also they started growing hogs, farrow to finish, with from the pigs to the market size hogs, and that continued up till 1979. At that time, they were doing something very similar to what they do with hogs and poultry today. They were finishing it out, which was taking them like 500 pounds and putting them up to 1,100 to 1,200 pounds, which then they went to market there for the beef. The company that was Swift Packing Company in Wilson at the time, and they changed their marketing. They stopped slaughtering cattle, killing cattle there, and they went to beef cattle. Went to hogs. So that there went on market, because there's nothing on the East Coast doing stuff like that at that time. So anyhow, I graduated high school in '78. Went to the LCC a couple years and went to work for ag business in Kinston. But I always wanted to farm. So Dad, having the education he had from Duke, was able to go to work for NC Department of Ag and the Food and Drug Administration and taking feed samples. But at that time, we were in the heart of tobacco country, but we didn't have the equipment to grow tobacco. My uncle grew tobacco, but I didn't. Daddy didn't. So we decided, Dad decided, in his travels, he had a large territory. He was actually taking feed samples from pet food to these large hog and poultry operations. And if they had a federally regulated drug in that feed, he had to make sure what was in the feed on the label was what it was said. But he saw the new, this was back in like '83 and '84, people started growing vegetables on black plastic with drip irrigation. This was kind of new in eastern North Carolina. The Lewises down at Rocky Point, good friends of ours, they started doing that. They've been doing it in Florida for years down that way. And like I said, he knew that I wanted to farm. So we started out in the spring of 1985 with an acre and a half of cantaloupe, and we had some watermelons. And we sold them anywhere we could sell. That's one thing about the produce business. You better sell it, have it sold before you plant it. You better have some way of marketing it. But we were fortunate enough that we made some contacts with some military bases, that we did some direct commissary delivery. So in 1985, we were riding up down Highway 7 to Cherry Point, or going down 258 to Camp Lejeune with a wore-out truck, and we were carrying fresh fruits and vegetables to these commissaries. And we did that for quite a while, and it involved, and we kind of crawl, and then we kind of walk and wobble and all that stuff. So we started to keep growing our business. And in about 1995, we were able to start carrying produce to 2 commissaries at Fort Bragg. With 2 commissaries at Fort Bragg, we buy enough in a week that you can take all the other commissaries combined. I mean, that's just how huge that's how huge Bragg is at McKinsey. So anyhow, we were doing this, and we were expanding. You know, we were trying to use all this technology. Everything we grow was on plastic with drip, and our main crop was strawberries, and it still is today. And we do a lot of cantaloupe and watermelon and a lot of collard greens and cabbage. In fact, I just got out of the field at 3 o'clock to get here. We were planting collards today. So we were in the field today. So we were trying to get, we're a little bit behind, but we were transplanting collards today. So most of those collards are for our local Piggly Wigglies. And at that time too, I know I'm jumping around a little bit. We had the militaries, and we were also doing deliveries to the local Piggly Wigglies in Lenore County and surrounding counties too. And they're a big part of our business as well. And so we continue to do that. And then somewhere around, I can't exactly remember, somewhere around in the late 90s, we were able to get in some produce into Whole Foods, strawberries, and some other crops too. But our main thing was strawberries, and that is still today we sell strawberries to Whole Foods and most of the stores in North Carolina. And sometimes they send some on the back haul to Atlanta. They have trucks coming back from Alpharetta, Georgia to Atlanta. So sometimes our product gets into Atlanta. And then around in 2006, there was some changes with DECA, which is a Defense Commissary Agency. They went to more of a privatized group that handled their produce procurement, and that's called Military Produce Group. Well, they knew that we had been working with them for years and years, and they really liked these commissaries wearing our stuff. So we started selling, instead of going to each store, we started selling more volume to Norfolk, to Savannah, and sometimes to Birmingham, Alabama, and they would distribute it to each individual commissaries. So we started that. I think that was a new thing. It started in 2006, I believe that's right. So we've been doing that ever since. And in the beginning, I wasn't very happy about it because it was, that's a big change. That's a large percentage of our market, a lot of our commodities. But it's actually worked out very well, and we were able to grow our business and send more fruits and vegetables there. Not that we sell everything there, but we sell melons, strawberries, greens, and sweet potatoes. That's the main things that we sell to those folks there. And we still sell a whole full line of products to the Piggly Wigglies in East North Carolina. I think there's 12 or 13 that we carry to. And we've also grown our business into retail. We have a retail market at our farm. We're at the Kinston Farmers Markets on Tuesdays and Saturdays in season. And we lease a market that Mr. Felix Harvey started at Tidewater Transit. We started that in 2006 or 7, I believe. And we leased a facility there, and we're open from mid-April to the Labor Day weekend there. So we're also involved with a group of growers called Southeastern Growers Association, which is farmers. We're kind of under an umbrella. Each farmer has their own facilities, but we try to market stuff. Like if I grow a cantaloupe and Dennis, you grow a cantaloupe, we all do the same techniques and same practices. That way it looks the same, but it comes from 2 different growers. But that's primarily, we probably do cantaloupes and watermelons and some lettuce and some few strawberries in our group there. So that's another marketing strategy that we have at TC Smith. As far as sustainability and continuing to grow, agriculture's changed so much in the last 20 years. It's unbelievable. It's changed a lot in the last 5 years. It's changing. It'll be changed tomorrow. It's just the technology is amazing, and it's very, for small growers like myself, it's very, very hard to keep up with it. It's very hard to keep up with it. How many of y'all have heard of a G10 number?
Sorry.
G9 as high as I went in school.
A G10 number. Well, supposedly every case that you sell to like somebody like Food Line or Walmart is you have to have a G10 number. A G10 number is a Global Traceability Initiative Program. Anyhow, it's trace back, food safety. That's the big thing in the produce business today is food safety. I mean, and it's crucial. I mean, you know, we have the safest food in the world, United States. We have, you know, we may have a problem here and there, and it's terrible when you have a problem, but we have the most safest food supply in the world. But but you want to be able to, I mean, this is just one of the issues we deal with, you know, being able to track, you need to track it forward and track it backwards, which field it come out of, which day it was harvested, how it was handled, who picked it, which one of your workers picked it, and then, you know, which store did it went to? Did it go through a broker? Did the broker sell it to another broker? Did he sell it to another person? So you just, you know, it's amazing how much things, and I'm speaking more of a large scale, but it's also basically on you know, selling to a grocery store or a farmer's market. You want to be able to assure your customer that what you got is the safest and freshest possible. We also have, you know, in growing, we try to, you know, use the best practices for the environment, and try to use the least amount of crop protectants as possible. When I say crop protectants, that's a good word for pesticides. We call them crop protectants because that's what we're doing. We're protecting our crops. Because we're not going to be able to sell a crop if it don't look pretty and not the prettiest, best shape, largest size. It just don't work. I mean, and I'm thinking, and I know there's, and I don't grow any organic stuff. I've never tried because I know in eastern North Carolina, the climate is hard for us to do, and we're doing more on a commercial basis. That if I'm going into a retail store and I have a tomato that's got a crack in it, I can't sell it. They won't buy it. They just won't buy it. I mean, the housewife won't buy it. I mean, that's just that's the reality in my world. Some other locations in the state sell quite a bit like that, but they don't get the yield that we might get, and they have to charge a higher price. Well, they're not. It's just depending on where you are in the area, but I don't knock it, and I would love to do as more of it as possible. We try to put compost on our soil. We've kind of gone away from that, and the reason why we went away from it is the cost of getting the compost to our farm from the people that make it. We don't make it, and you know, it's the cost of doing it that, because you can do all the good things you can, but still you got to be sustainable. You got to be profitable. You got to make. You got to be where you make a living. You know, at the end of the day is, you know, you got to be where you can farm again. And you know, if you take out loans to buy equipment or to operate your business, you know, you got to be able to pay them. You know, pay that money back. But we try to keep up with all the new technologies possible. We have a great group of workers that help us. That's another key issue is the produce business is labor. It's so labor intensive. There's no machines to pick strawberries, even though they're developing one in California. But I sense that would pick strawberries. It's amazing, but it's all, you know, it's all hand labor. 40% of our expenses is labor. So, you know, so that's a big issue, having good labor to get the job done and done correctly. We're very fortunate. We have workers that come from Mexico every year through the H-2A program, and they're like family. I've got one guy's been here since 1999. So, yeah. Are you asking a question, Dennis?
Yes, sir. We're going to be getting a little tight time-wise here. How many acres do you farm, and can you just comment in general how big you think a farm needs to be, just generally, to be to make a living or to be viable?
We're tending roughly 300 acres, and that's fairly large for in the produce business because of the intensity of the produce business. I'd say a 5-acre farm, a 10-acre farm in the produce business, very intense production, getting several crops off the land a year. I mean, I can see that could be, that could be very productive, or even an acre. And this depends on how you're doing things. If you're a CSA, small CSA, or you are just supplying a roadside market or a farmer's market, or have somebody come into your your stand there. It doesn't take a little bit. If you plant too much and you don't sell it all, well, you've messed your market up. But if you understand what I'm saying, it's you've got to learn your market. You got to know what your market requires. And somebody told me long ago, you don't grow what you want to grow. You grow what your customer wants.
Can you comment in general about selling to people like the chef and farmer, or just restaurants as opposed to CSAs or grocery stores? Any thoughts on that?
Well, we do sell to the chef and the farmer and some other restaurants as well. And it's kind of basically, what do they need? Do they need what size, like a potatoes? Do they need like table stock, or do they need a size or B size potato, or sweet potatoes? Do they need a 12-ounce potato? Do they need a larger sweet potato, like a 16-ounce potato? It's more going to talk to the chef and say, look, we would love to see something. What do you need? What are your specs? That's how you would have to approach that.
Okay. Does anyone else have any questions? We're going to have to kind of draw to a close here in a little bit.
Do you have run-up turnip salad yet?
No, ma'am. We cut ours up.
Oh, did you?
Because we wanted to plant something else there. I was going to wait, but it would look so bad. It didn't. But you know what run-up turnip salad is? It's turnip salad that you plant in the fall, and it goes to seed, and then the seed head runs up, and you just pick the leaves up. But I don't have any of it. I had somebody looking today for it. I've tried to keep some of that.
I really admire and appreciate what you're doing. I grew up in Mississippi, and my father grew cotton, soybeans, and rice.
Right.
And he liked having the tractor. He wanted as little employees as possible, as little labor as possible.
That's right.
And what you're doing is the opposite of growing cotton, soybeans, and rice.
That's right. That's right.
You're doing very labor intensive. It takes us a lot more work.
That's right. That's right.
It's a lot more work, but we're eating it.
That's right. I mean, that's right. Thank you. I always wanted to be the cow business. First thing was a dairy, and that's that.
I'm glad you're not in the dairy business.
Dairy. That's 365, and this is 365. I mean, we try to have something to sell all the time. We try to have. This time of year we're still supplying our Piggly Wigglies, but we're getting collars that are coming out of Florida from another grower who has a farm in Florida to get the old-fashioned cabbage collars. But that's what our customers want, and that's what we try to get them. But yeah, it's you've got to have, in my opinion, I've seen several young people want to work on a farm. It's got to be instilled in you. You got to have it
in your soul, in your blood, because there's some things you don't walk away from it on Friday afternoon, come back to it on Monday morning, even though I love to do it. There's things like, I had not planned to plant collards today. We were going to wait till Monday. Well, it was so pretty, and I kept looking at it because I didn't want, you just don't go find collard plants or cabbage plants anywhere, you know. So I didn't want to risk having a heavy frost tonight, so I kept watching the weather, checking the forecast to see how cold it was going to be. And it looks like the wind's going to blow a little bit tonight. Got to keep the air mix and we won't get a heavy frost. So we decided we'd go to the field, and it looks like a lot of rain next week. You know, in the weather pattern too, I know we've got to wrap it here. One day last week, I have a forecast just from our strawberry field for our area, for our location. And we went in there Wednesday morning, it dropped the temperature 5 degrees from 22 to 15, 7 degrees from 22. They said the low would be in the field. And I'm talking about a foot off the ground. I'm not, these weather stations are 4 foot, 4.5. We're talking about a foot off the ground where the plants was at. They said it was going to be 15 degrees. This past month was supposed to be 15, but it was about 22. You have to make a decision. So we just uncovered our strawberries with these blankets we put on them, so we started back covering them back up. Well, that's takes 10 or 12 head to do it. And then it's come to find it's not going to be as cold as they thought it was, but then you had rain coming, so you had to react. So it's just a never-ending cycle.
Do you cover them with burnout, or what do you cover them
We
with?
got a cover called Remake. It's a Remake. It's a spun type material. It's like it's very light, like 1.2 ounce cover, and it lets the sunlight penetrate it. So, but it still it doesn't keep the water off of it, but it holds. It's like a layer. It traps the heat to the soil, and it's just like a capping effect. And then and the thicker it is, the more heat you hold. These covers are 1.2 ounce, and they'll keep about 7. You'll gain about 6 to 7 degrees under the cover. So, and we weren't trying to say we don't have any open flowers yet, but we've got a lot of buds that are just fixing to open up. So they can take a little bit colder, but as they open up, their threshold for cold tolerance is less and less and less. So an open strawberry flower can take about 28 degrees, and then you lose it.
Okay.
When can we expect strawberries?
I hope that we'll have them somewhere around the 15th.
Okay, great.
And it looks like it's going to moderate, but wet, but moderate. There's a lot of tight little flowers just fixing to open up, and the days are getting long too. The day length makes a lot of difference too. Once these days get long, that wakes them up too. So I hope we were still on goal for the 15th, but Mother Nature's got it.
Thank you, Curtis, very, very much,
All right,
everybody. All right.